Hey, what's up guys? It's Fly. In today's video, I have two gameplays for you. In the first one, there's 8 squads left, and it was a pretty crazy end game, so I decided to throw it in there for the beginning. And the second game is on Olympus. I think Olympus is my favorite map, honestly. I think the way that it's designed overall with the rotations is probably one of the best. Storm Point is weird because you end up fighting in a lot of choke points, even in pub matches. So that's why I like Olympus a little more, but Storm Point is still a good map.
No team, oh my god!
As you can see in this gameplay, there's like a ton of squads around us.
I literally couldn't. I got stuck right
like
between
3 guys around him. Fortunately, he went down there. And now I'm just gonna mad scramble for my life. There's another kill. That team's dead.
Stuck running forward.
Still 6 squads left, so at this point it's just a shit show in this entire building, and I'm trying to get Tanner's banner and get out of here. It's a complex situation. As you can see, when I turn around, there's actually teams behind me too, so I'm in the middle of 2 squads, and I just have to put my gun away and run away. Somehow I didn't get hit and got out of the situation, and you probably hear Tanner saying, dude, that was crazy, because it was pretty crazy in a live game with all these teams around us. It gets intense. I also wanted to talk about why solo in Apex is just at a point where it's unplayable. There's so many people that play this game now, and when you're playing by yourself and you're stacked against a stack of 3 players that are on the same team with comms, it's just a super difficult fight to win most of the time, and you're gonna end up back in the lobby most of the time, especially for the average player. It's really hard to take on more than 2 guys at a time. So it's season 13, and honestly, it's not gonna get any better now. So we just have to take it for what it is. We love the game, so we gotta keep playing it. But maybe eventually they'll fix the solo queue game for some of us solo queue gamers. At this point, I just decided I needed to take this fight. There was not many respawn beacons and still another team, and I was fortunate enough to pretty much one clip both of them. It was pretty
so crazy,
clutch, honestly. It's hard to do that nowadays, but if you have the accuracy, you can make anything happen. So I got the kills, and I'm just going to fast forward through the rest of the game. It's not a very crazy end game, but I just thought I would highlight some of that Rampart gameplay, even though I barely uses her ability. So Apex is really fun. It's honestly a game where if you're good at it, you're gonna enjoy playing it for quite some time. Yeah, it gets boring after a little while. You can't really play consecutively for too long, and sometimes you have days where you're just dying a lot and it's super frustrating. But if you really want to get good at the game, it's gonna be most important for you just to put in the hours and actually try to survive the 1-on-2 situations, because once you start positioning yourself differently in those situations, you realize that the game starts coming to you a little more rather than you chasing it. I'm sure you guys know that when you have a teammate and you have somebody fried for 180 damage, most of the time you're gonna run and push that guy and try to kill him. But when you're by yourself and you do that kind of damage, you're risking the push to get shot at by one of the teammates who's likely going to come protect the other team. So when you put yourself in those situations, you first of all force yourself to have accurate shots. So if you don't have accurate shots, you gotta either spend some time in the firing range or just keep practicing your aim. Most of you people who play on controllers will understand that the amount of pressure you put on your right thumbstick when you're shooting controls pretty much your accuracy for the most part, because all the guns have a different recoil pattern, and you'll feel that if you don't put pressure on your thumb when you're shooting, that a lot of the bullets will end up straying away and not go straight because of the recoil pattern. But you'll see on YouTube some of these guys like Jankz and Moose and So Far and iTemp, and let's just name some of the most popular ones that I've heard of. All of them have pretty much laser beam accuracy because they understand the controller dynamic. They know how to control their recoil in intense situations, and that's why they're able to pull off insane 1v2 and 1v3 clutches
Dude, you're the one that
pretty regularly. It's just simple. It's just they have good accuracy, and of course they put hours in the game and understand the knowledge of positioning and using your abilities.
There's no way we get out of this. We're in the middle of it all. Like,
there you have it. That's one situation where you don't give up and you can end up winning the game. Even if you're playing with Rampart, obviously it's never gonna 100% go in your favor. You're gonna win some and lose some, but if you stick it through when you have those 1-on-2 situations rather than leaving, you'll actually end up getting a little better at the game. So there you have it, gameplay number 1. Now putting up gameplay number 2, which is actually a full gameplay. So it's gonna be a longer video. This one is on Olympus. Olympus, like I said before, is one of my favorite maps. There's only 4 maps, and I think it's between Olympus and World's Edge to be my favorites. In this one, it's a trios match. I'm playing by myself. Eventually, one of my teammates is going to end up leaving and learn nothing from the game. So then it's going to be me and another buddy just stuck in a trios lobby, and we can make the choice. Do we want to give up on ourselves, or do we want to actually put in the effort to stick out the game and win it, and maybe put in some more shots than you would if you kind of went down and died. This is not to mention that I understand, you know, in a solo queue or whatever, like you're playing online, it doesn't mean anything. So, you know, people leave and they don't really care. It doesn't mean anything to them. It doesn't bother them. It maybe hurts their stats a little bit, but nobody really gives a shit about stats nowadays. So that's where it's at. So people are gonna leave. You can't really do anything about it. You just gotta keep playing the game. This is a good example of my teammate Jose. He didn't even go down. I mean, he did go down, but he didn't even leave the game, which I was totally expecting him to do while playing this. And then you'll see Jose gets rezzed, and we end up winning the game. Spoiler alert, towards the end. But it's just the 2 of us, so he understands that he's got the gunshots, he's got the skill, he's put some time into this game. There's no point in backing out of the lobby just to reload and potentially die off spawn again. You can win games when you rely on your teammates, and most of the time you're not going to have a teammate that's reliable, but when you do, you should realize that I can learn from this person. Let's play some more. Let's get the res. If I die, I lose. Why not though? Like, you're putting in the hours for the game. You might as well spectate somebody who knows what they're doing, get back in the game and keep playing. Or you know, if you spawn and die or your banner expires, then feel free to leave the game. But let's try to make it enjoyable for your teammates who have, you know, put in some time into this lobby, and all of a sudden they're stuck by themselves. Because I know that not everybody is going to win these situations. Even me, like, you're seeing a gameplay where I do win it, but more often than not, I'm going to end up getting killed by a third party or shot in the back and something of that nature. So yeah, the teammates is a big part of the game. It's a team-based video game, but at the end of the day, you can still win when you don't have them. But it's nice for teammates to stick around and, you know, show that they could. As you can see right there, Valkyrie just went down and immediately left. Had no desire to even watch me kill the Bloodhound and get his banner and res him, even though I could have done it in a matter of 30 seconds since I just knocked him, and I could have got his banner right there, and then this crypto was just being skeeved right there. The fight was over, and I would have went to res him. Somehow there was more than 2 squads, but if he didn't leave, it would have been a much easier game for us to win, and we would have played it differently. But honestly, though, when you got less players on your team and you're at a disadvantage, most of the time you end up playing in a way that allows you to survive more, rather than being stupid and pushing everything. So that's what we ended up having to do for the rest of this gameplay. I got lucky that Jose could hit some shots, and I was able to finish some of the kills that he had lined up. We're about to head into another fight right now, and you'll see that without having him there, all 3 would have just pushed me by myself and would have totally ended up dead 99 out of 10, 100 times. But I'm telling him to come towards me because obviously he's getting shot at. He does good by taking a different angle than I had. So this 3-stack clearly knows there's only 2 of us and they're really putting pressure on us. But the key here is to try to get one of them out of the game first, or at least back them up. So right there, I put 72 damage on Gibraltar, which probably caused him to go back up and put a battery on, which is why he didn't end up pushing. And because the other team wasn't coordinated and the Octane was a little antsy, he threw and he got killed, and his teammate got killed, and the rest is history with this Gibraltar. This guy, Prowler, honestly is one of the best submachine guns. If you hit your shots, it does like 80 damage in one burst if you get all of them, which is nuts. And the L-Star has a lot of recoil now, but it does a lot of damage as well, so it's a good gun too. So healing up here, obviously there's nobody around. Just gonna fast forward through until the next fight. A little aggressive Octane guy. Okay, I wanted to discuss characters and their abilities and where they're at right now in terms of the meta. I am using Lifeline in this gameplay. I don't usually use Lifeline. I'm more of a running gunner, so I like to use Pathfinder, Octane, Bangalore. But with the new buff to Lifeline, I thought I would give her a shot. If you didn't know already, she got a buff where her cooldown on the ultimate is quicker, so you'll get better stuff, and you'll get batteries instead of cells out of the ultimate, so you can spend less time on the crafter. And the other buff was her Lifeline drone can extend a longer range, so I guess that means you can heal up from farther away, take more cover if it's placed in a bad position. And did you see that Pathfinder just fly in there looking like a snake? My goodness. How can you move like that? It's like not even fair that some PC gamers have that type of movement. I don't know. I've seen it a few times. It's nuts that these guys look like fucking snakes as they're flying through the air. But Luckily my controller was more calm than his keyboard and I got the kill, so that worked out. The other character that I think is meta at the moment is Valkyrie. Valkyrie is legit the easiest surviving legend. By that I mean you could just jump on high ground when you're in a tough situation and survive almost anything. So her ability is kind of a cheat code, and I personally don't like using it. It makes it easy to survive, but I also end up getting messed up a lot while I'm in midair. Personally, I don't like getting shot while I'm in air, and I'm not good like that. So here I don't know how I knock somebody from that far away, which is insane. With the Havoc, my Havoc accuracy is garbage, as you can see in this video. I literally can't. Look at that. Just, yeah, horrible. Just flat. I don't know. Jankz has probably the best Havoc accuracy I've ever seen. I can't control the Havoc like some people can. It's got so much recoil. Valkyrie, back to that topic. Her ultimate to me is kind of cheesy. You can just hide and run and fly away from any situation really. I don't really like it because it's not an attacking ability. It is a support ability, but I think that her ability to fly out of those situations kind of makes her unfair to use when in most situations. And I honestly, with the controller, have a really difficult time tracking a Valkyrie while she's in the air. I don't know what that means, but I think it's just more difficult when somebody can suddenly start flying, and tracking that is just super hard because you can't predict where they're gonna go, where they can just change angles in 2 seconds and fly around, go halfway up the sky. But she's really good. Players in ranked are all over her because in ranked you get cornered and pinned down a lot, and it's just easy to huddle up, fly away. So I think she's meta. Pathfinder and Wraith are always being used a lot. What do you guys think about Wraith? I never loved Wraith, even when she first came out. I thought Wraith was I guess corny in a sense. He can just phase away and gone and heal up, which I guess I thought was too easy. Never really liked her, yeah, but she's obviously one of the most used legends nowadays, so I can't hate for people using her, but I never really liked people that use Wraith. I just take the easy way out. But it is a sweaty person's dream to get high kill games, and Wraith is one of the best for those. So personally, I could care less for the high kill games. I like the good gameplay and using your surroundings, your environment, the character's abilities that you do have to make some crazy plays like this gameplay is like totally we're pinched down and there's a lot of teams around us, but we still somehow like maneuver around and make some shots, get some kills with Lifeline, who does pretty much nothing when it comes to attacking. So you have to have good aim. That's just like the trade-off. you don't have good aim, you're not going to end up winning these 2-on-3s and things like that. And my aim is definitely not what many's are. Mine is just average, I would say, a little above average. But I do understand the game mechanics pretty well, and I think that makes my life a little easier. Oh, that's the fuse that's self-resed. Yeah. And somehow we made it to this point. I don't know how. I didn't know how many players were left on the last team, but I found out by playing that there's only one left. So I didn't need to do all this crafting and all this battery stuff. But you can never be over safe when it comes to having the meds for a fight, especially when you're man down. Best to stack up on the batteries and the big heals. That way you can fully heal, of course, when you're getting pushed by 3 of them, and your only chance is to fry 1 or 2 and heal up quickly. Without the big heals, you're pretty much screwed in any disadvantaged situation. And yeah, so we're coming down to the end of this gameplay. Those are my thoughts about shooting and teammates and characters. I thought that these 2 gameplays displayed some really good accuracy, some good positioning, and how you can win in a situation where the odds are against you. So if you did enjoy, please leave a comment, rate, and subscribe. I hope you enjoyed the video. I plan on uploading more in the near future, and I hope to see you in the next one. I'm actually really like a lifeline. Champions. Yeah, I was